Hello. I don't know if anybody will listen to this, but for those who do, my name is Statler Smith. I want to improve how I show up in the world, including my ability to think and communicate. To that end, I'm writing essays weekly and recording myself speaking those essays. This will include the following steps. Weekly, I write an essay about a topic that I've been thinking about. Towards the end of the weekend, either Friday or Saturday, record myself saying the essay, which I'm doing now, do any sort of video edits that I can manage and that makes sense, and then publish the recorded video to YouTube. So this is the four-step process that I'm sure will seem much more complicated as I continue and attempt to make this a consistent output. And then maybe complicated is not the right word. The steps are pretty simple, but consistency is difficult, just as with any other exploit. So then why am I attempting this, right? If new exploits and consistency are difficult, why is this something that I want to do? Why go to the trouble to start something that I very likely may just quit and will feel guilty about myself later for doing so? Why take that risk? I have a few ideas that have been jumbling around in my head this week as far as what I want to improve. Some of the reasons are stronger than others, for sure. So for the first step, having a written essay. This step trains a few muscles that I have been feeling atrophy in myself over the past nebulous period of time. That first muscle is just thinking. Just thinking. About 7 years ago, I became obsessed with taking in information. I called it learning. I don't know if it was. Most of the information was in the form of books, either audio or paperback, or hardcover if you want to be like that. So it could have been worse, right? It could have just been not that educational or informational. Over time, though, audiobooks gave way to podcasts, and paper books gave way to video games or TV shows, which was less informative, less educational, of course. My resultant lifestyle became one where I was plugged into other people's thoughts. I got a lot of what other people were thinking, other people's worlds, but my own internal mental infrastructure started to decay and fade into oblivion almost. I've been feeling that recently, where my own ability to think and to make judgments or whatnot has atrophied a little bit, or it's still kind of where it was a few years ago, and I haven't really improved it that much. Now, it's another part of that is I just seems like I don't have time to think. When I do, I'm just using that time listening to other people think, watching other people's stories, other people's worlds, instead of building my own. And I'd like to reverse that. Writing an essay about something that I'm thinking about requires me to have thoughts that I can write about, and enough thoughts to fill a couple of minutes, a page or two. Enough thoughts so that my thinking improves instead of declines. That's the hope there. The second muscle that actually writing the essay, I believe will work out for me is the writing ability, the capacity to transfer my thoughts from nebulous ideas down to concrete words on a page. Well, digital words on a page, but the idea is the same. When I write my ideas, that forces me to think critically about those ideas. I frequently find myself having an idea that seems to fill my head, where I'm obsessed with it. Can't feel like there's no end to the exploration of that idea. Then I get the idea on the paper, and I realize that it's not actually that expansive. It's not that big. It's not even that clear or accurate. So when I write the ideas down, of course that helps me to practice taking thoughts and ideas from this nebulous item I can't communicate to something that is concrete, that I can tell other people about and that they can listen as well. This might just be an extension of my thinking muscle, where if I write it down, then I'm able to look at it a kind of bit bigger perspective, get some critical ideas, or get the criticality into the ideas. But either way, I think both of that is the case. Both actually thinking and the ability to transfer my thoughts from thoughts to words is pivotal in communication. So I think that for step one, those are the main ideas, main items I want to improve. Step two, of course, is recording myself saying the essay. And my initial thought is for it to be video recorded, like I'm doing now. And I'll do that most of the time, especially when I have the capacity to. That's not required, though. This step two is mainly for me to practice my diction. Just like step one helps me transfer my thoughts from nebulous ideas to paper, this step is for me to practice verbalizing those thoughts. Too frequently, I start saying something, I get in the zone, and then I forget what one specific word is. I have the idea of what that word is supposed to convey, but the specific word, I can't find it perfectly in that moment, and the flow just stops. It abruptly stops, and I want to remedy that. Additionally, my speaking my speaking is not great. Frequently, I tend to speak too quickly, or too quietly, or too monotone. I speak in ways that make it difficult for people to understand me. I want to fix that. I don't want it's not inability to communicate, right? Because I can still speak, and they eventually get across. We eventually get the idea, but it's not as quick or as clear as it could be. And I waste a lot of time saying too many words, saying words too quietly, saying words in a boring way that prevents people from understanding what I'm saying. It's inefficient. I'm not a fan of that. Step three is to make the video edits. Frankly, this is the first step that will be dropped in a busy week. I understand that video editing is a valuable skill. I'm not particularly passionate about it, and in my line of work, as an IT internal auditor, or was an external auditor today, will be internal on Monday, but that's a different topic. But yeah, in that line of work, auditing, or adjacent lines of work, accounting, IT, video editing is a less than necessary skill. So like it'd be cool to learn. I'll probably learn a little bit as I go along. I like learning new things. Like it's always good to have a new skill, but it's not vital. Also, this practice is for myself, right? So if you're watching this, I hope you like me speaking to a camera. But this exercise is mostly for myself. And editing the videos does not seem superfluous to the improvement that I want to make. But it'll be fun. Maybe it's something that my wife and I can work on together. Who knows? The final step is to publish the video to YouTube or a video storage site, video sharing site. And now I just said that this is for myself, right? This whole exercise is for me. So why would I publish the video to YouTube instead of just having them on Day One or another journal type software? This step is important for me to start putting myself out there. I don't have much of a social media presence, partially by design. Social media has a lot of problems, causes a lot of problems for people in their mental life, and I wanted to stay away from that. It's done well for me so far. With that being said, why would I go back to a social media? Why would I try to post things on a social media? And this is for me to practice putting myself out there. The job I'm just leaving was remote work pretty much all the time. I took no social risks because I didn't have to. I maybe said a joke or two on a video call, and that was it. The new job I'm going to is a lot more in person. There are a lot more social opportunities, and I want to get comfortable taking social risks, taking conversational risks. And this, the feeling of publishing a video to YouTube, I believe will be enough of a proxy for the social risks that I'll be experiencing with the social opportunities in the office, that I'll get comfortable in that somewhat scary, for me at least, emotion, and that I can still navigate with that emotion. I know I can practice how to deal with it, take deep breaths, etc. All this stuff. Essentially, I want to take more social risks, and this is kind of, publishing the video to YouTube is a way that I can become comfortable with that feeling. Now, I understand that it's different, right? I'm not in person with people, but the act of publishing the video, I believe, will help me to at least dip my toe in the water a little bit more. And if nothing else, remind me on a weekly basis that I do want to take social risks, that I do want to build connections, and that requires social risks. So it could just end up being the reminder for that. Anyway, so those are the 4 steps. That's why I'm doing this. Now, do I believe I have something groundbreaking to share with the world? Not particularly. I don't think I have anything to share that hasn't been shared by somebody else at some other time. Probably a much more relatable, funny, or inspiring way. I do believe that there is nothing new under the sun. And while while the way I bring things together might be unique, that doesn't mean it's useful. And that's why what I'm doing is mainly for me. If you get something out of it, great. Hope that. Sure, go for it. But this is a practice for me, quite selfishly. I intend to keep it that way. So if thinking forward, I very much doubt that this will blow up in any sort of way. Kind of hope it doesn't. This is my room behind me, and that'd be weird. But if it does, if there's any modicum of success that comes from this, this is for me. This practice is for me. I don't even, people watch it. Yeah, no, I don't think people are going to watch it, so I'll be good. There's a few details I haven't figured out yet, like how long should the essays be. This is already at 13 minutes. How personal do I want to make these essays? I mean, I'm in my room. I don't know how personal we're going to make them. We'll see. There might be times I want to have a conversation with somebody instead of doing a video by myself. Particularly with if I want to practice riffing off of people and having a good conversation. I will incorporate that into this week, or into this weekly item. I don't really know all the details yet, but I'll figure it out as I go along. So that's the plan, and the reasons behind this new endeavor. I don't know what next week's essay will be, but I've enjoyed writing this one, and frankly, I have enjoyed speaking it as well. I didn't think I would that much. But yeah, it's been fun. So wish me best of luck to have good thoughts that make for an interesting essay. See you next week. As I find the stop button.